Good evening, and good evening. Welcome back to Be Authentically You with your host, Tori Nicole. It is Monday, August the 20th, and I'm so happy to be back for my weekly show, which runs from 7 to 7:30. You're here with me where we are creating a space where we can share things that we deal with life to include parenting, mental health, trauma, relationships, going through life, second guessing and doubting whether or not we are showing up for our life today or making good choices. So I want to continue to thank all my listeners that have been joining me. Thank you for the new listeners, and thank you for the shares. You can also share this page and share this broadcast on your page for more listeners. Coming up soon, we will be doing giveaways. We will also be having guests coming on the show. And if you decide that you want to be a guest, you can reach out to me, and you can Facebook me, inbox me by Tori Rogers Ball, or either you can DM me on Instagram, Tori Inspires Blog. And we're going to keep it moving. If this is your first time joining me, I'm a mom. I'm also a doctoral student, social worker, author, speaker. I'm all these things wrapped up into one, but I am the host of Be Authentically You. So as we go on tonight with our show, tonight from 7 to 7:30, we're going to do the show of following your dreams, and that's the topic for tonight is following your dreams. The book that I'm currently reading in between doing schoolwork and being the mom, being the provider of my household with my two babies, is from a sister that lives in Maryland. Her name is Ronnie Brown. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about this young lady, but if you don't, she just published her book, which is the 5 Steps to Building an Online Brand, from mopping floors to making millions on Instagram. And so thus far what I've read in my travels and when I purchased the book is that she is basically talking about following her dreams and what she needed to do to provide for her family. So while I'm continuously reading this book, it has been great thus far. And I'm not done yet because, of course, I'm currently in school to receive my doctorate. But anywho, let's keep it moving with the show with following your dreams. So I picked out a verse in the Bible before the show started that I kept thinking about, and it comes from Proverbs 29:18, and it states, some people might know it, some of us, we're still learning and getting involved into what we need to do for awareness and cleansing and to be more closer to God. But the verse for Proverbs 29:18 states, where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. That's the King James Version. The version that I switched it to for more palpable thought is, when people do not accept divine guidance, they run wild, but whoever obeys the law is joyous. So the reason why I picked this verse is because it ties into having a vision, but it also ties into following your dreams. But when you're following your dreams, you're taking that guidance and hopefully seeking that guidance through your higher power, which is the Lord, or whoever you follow for your spiritual guidance. But for me, it's the Lord. So when we're doing following our dreams, we're discussing and we're thinking about, what should I do in order to be able to follow my dreams? Are my dreams big enough for me to do? Should I pass this on to somebody else? And when we're always considering doing something that will benefit our dreams or benefit our well-being, we normally like to has feedback from people that are in our lives, and we tend to go to the people that we trust a lot. However, what I normally like to tell people is that sometimes your dreams are so big that someone that does not understand, they're not getting the same vision that the Lord has given you to be able to follow those dreams, because you want to be able to do that. So when we're in these relationships with our friendships, or either the romantic relationships with our intimate partner, spouse, or whoever, and we want to pass those dreams on and discuss them, sometimes people tell us that our dreams are too big, or I hear the favorite phrase, you're doing too much, or your plate is full. And what I like to tell people all the time, don't let that discourage you with the negative criticism or the negative feedback, because I always tell those persons, when they hear someone tell them, oh, your dream is just too big, or either your plate is full, God knows exactly what he's giving you to do exactly what is needed for him. We always have this decision that, oh, we're going to do this for the money. We're going to do this for different reasons. However, when the dream is wrapped around being a service for someone else, those dreams will flourish regardless of what people say. You think about the dream, you make the outlines for that dream or that vision, and to decide what you're going to do in reference to that vision, and you execute it the best way you know how. And if you do not know how to execute your dreams and your visions, that's when it's time to collaborate with other people to see the back ends of how you execute things, or either hire someone or either have someone assist you to be able to execute those dreams. Now, some people don't do free work because everybody out here is trying to get paid for something to get somewhere. However, if you have a tribe or your village that is able to help you, by all means, let them know, hey, my vision is this. I'm stuck here, and I want to be able to follow my dreams and flourish and do whatever it is needed to be done. The end goal for everybody that's in business is to provide for their family, but also what should be embedded in your dreams and your vision is also how you can be of service to someone else. So in my walk of wanting to better myself, I'm seeking out relationships with other women to collaborate. I'm also being of service to someone else where I'm doing a service for them. If it's writing, if it's speaking, I want to service other people. So my passion right now and always has been to help other women to succeed, or even to get out of their own head. So with that dream and that passion, you always want to be of service to someone else. There are some people who just want to be of service to their own dreams and their own visions and their own pockets, where they don't want to service or be of service to anyone else, which is a selfish reason. But we all have that, where we're trying to do something for our family, or either people want the fame, but sometimes the fame doesn't always come out of it. It's always being the reward or the blessing to someone else to help them follow their dream. So as we go on with the show of following our dreams, we're discussing where you do everything in preparations to do that, to be able to follow your dreams. And I want to go to the plate analogy when we're discussing following your dreams. So just think of a plate, a sectional plate, where God is giving you everything that is needed, or he's providing you with more that you prayed for. It could be that you're praying for a podcast, to do a podcast. You're praying to do a blog. In regards to doing the podcast and the blog, you also add your family duties, wife duties or relationship duties, also mommy duties you're adding. You're also adding, if you're doing a full-time job, you're adding that to your plate. If you're in school, you're adding those things to your plate. And what I want to say to my listeners is, don't allow anyone to tell you you're doing too much, or either have that connotation that, oh, I didn't ask you because you're doing so much and you're so busy. No, how about you have a voice for yourself and tell people to ask you anyway, and don't say that they're doing too much, because if you're telling someone that they're doing too much or they're too busy, you're not doing enough. So that's one thing that bothers me, when someone mind is so small that they tell you, oh, you're doing too much. No, you're not doing enough. And the Lord has given me enough to do because I am the person that can handle everything He has given me on my plate. So when you're trying to follow your dreams, don't even try. You do. You do everything that's needed to follow your dreams. To be able to put the dreams in place, you also have to be able to outline what it is that you're trying to do. Say that you're trying to have a online or a storefront boutique, and we're going to go with the online boutique. So with the online boutique, you know that, okay, I want to sell fashions to women that could be plus size, full figured, or either average size women. So you do a lot of research of things that you want to sell, if it's accessories, if it's shoes, if it's clothing, things of that nature that all women would love to wear. So you start searching, how do I get a website? How do I get hosting for this website? Do I need this PayPal account or could I do Cash App? You look at different avenues and you sit down and you write everything out as to how to do this online boutique. Do I take another class from another woman that is providing the webinars and the trainings to be able to do the boutique? Do I sign up for these? Do I sign up for a coach and a mentor to be able to do an online boutique and then later flourish into a storefront? What kind of merchandising do I place at this online boutique, and what kind of expos and shows do I attend, and where do I attend to do these shows? So the example that I'm giving you is that you always prepare and plan for your dream. Don't idly sit by and sit there and think woulda, shoulda, coulda. I've met different women that say, well, when I do this, I think I'm going to do this, or I got to figure out how to do this to make this book or to do the online boutique, or I don't know, or I was thinking about. Instead of thinking about certain things, get out of your own head and put it on paper and start doing things now to make your dream come alive. Because the more that you continue to think about it, the more you're going to continue to stay in your own head, and you're not going to execute not one thing for your dream to make it a reality. Once we come back from our commercial, we will continue with following our dreams and to go on what we need to do to get out of our own head to make those dreams a reality. Be back after the break. Thank you for listening to Be Authentically You with your host, Tori Nicole. Thank you for coming back to from the break of Be Authentically You with your host, Tori Nicole. We were discussing following your dreams. We also made reference to Proverbs 29, but we're going into getting out of your own head when following your dreams, where we are discussing the execution of your dream and being able to get out of the rut of making sure that this is something that you want to do. So when you're following your dreams, I've followed quite a few women on Instagram and social media that I look up to and also admire, and they also inspire me to keep going, because there was one point in time in my life where early on, maybe 20 years ago, around 20, where we're still trying to figure out where exactly we would like to be in life. And you start making those provisions in your life, and you start doing things that you need to do to be able to follow your dreams. So as time went on, I started adding things to my plate and doing a map of what my life should look like, what changes I need to make, and what I need to do to begin to follow my dreams. So as for an example of following dreams, this past week from Thursday to yesterday, I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was attending my residency. So while I was attending my residency, it was amazing for me to see the different faces of our future doctors. And I always want to tell people that doctors that you have are not always doctors that have a white coat. You have doctors that are there for business purposes. I met some people that are getting doctorates in business. I met people that are getting doctorates in counseling and behavioral health. I met some doctors that are going into IT business. And for my discipline area, doctorate in social work, and you have some that's in doctorate of emergency management. So while I was in Atlanta from Thursday to Sunday, it was amazing to see persons just following their dreams. It was also amazing to me that listening to the different people's story that I was eating breakfast and lunch with of how they begin to follow their dreams. I also met a young lady that's getting her doctorate in education and another lady that's getting her doctorate in counseling. So the woman that's getting her doctorate in education, hers was followed by following her dreams of being an adjunct professor, being an administrator, and then people started talking to her in reference to what is she wanted to do more. So as talking to them, she decided, maybe I can do this, and she began to follow her dream. I met the final young lady that I met. She was getting a doctorate in counseling, and previously to getting counseling, for the doctorate, she wrote books. So her books were selling. She's selling them on Amazon, and she was selling erotica books. So we were sitting there reading, talking to her, and just seeing how she come about with following her dreams. So she wants to do more couples counseling. So her doctorate came about with her following her dream and writing erotica books and wanting to counsel other people in relationships, what I thought was phenomenal. So what I'm getting to is always follow your dream. Always do a map of what is it, what's your next end goal. If your end goal is to write a book on poetry, if it's your book to write on relationships, if your dream is to write any form of book on any topic, do your research first, put it on paper, get everything out of your mind, and also get out of your head of thinking woulda, shoulda, coulda, and start executing. Regardless of how it's executed, you won't know if it's right or wrong until you start putting things in motion by putting it on paper and doing the footwork and getting it out there and doing everything that you need to do. So while you're following your dreams, don't always pay attention to the person that has a small mind, but you use that as motivation to get you to where you need to go. So when you're following these dreams, you want to execute and put everything in organizational plates where you're organizing your thoughts, you're organizing it through paper and mapping everything that you need to do for this dream. And you get them out there to do everything that is needed for you to do to follow your dreams. And I always have to refer back to earlier discussions from Be Authentically You when we discussed the vision board. So everything that I discuss always leads back to a vision board. And I tell people vision boards, they absolutely work. They do work. Several of the things that I have done on my vision board have absolutely came true because I had practiced the law of attraction. Be positive in your thought process. You work them out, you map them out, and you go and do everything that is needed, and that's where the execution part of your dreams come through. So my dreams was to always continue to help women in every vast part of their life. If it's the mental part of it, which social work we delve into what's the presenting problem and we work on that presenting problem. It could be having the confidence for you to be out here to do everything that you need to do and stop being stagnated. If you're a procrastinator, which I constantly work with, so I always tell people because I'm helping someone does not always mean that I'm not struggling with something, but my thing that I constantly work on is time management to deal with my procrastination, which continues to be an ongoing process, which I love because when you're working with yourself and on yourself, you continue to see the work and the progress that you do and the growth that comes out of working on self. So when you're following your dreams, you always work on those things that you have as your goal and on your vision, and you continue to tweak them to make sure that your dream is being met and you follow your dream. So to close out our show, every Monday I give a motivational Monday quote, saying, or something for you to meditate on until the next Monday, but also to get you through your Tuesday through Friday. And I always want to thank my listeners for listening. Or if you are listening to this through Facebook, thank you so much. But please share. I'm also looking for sponsors for the show and also guests to come on my show. So don't be afraid. You do not have to be a big star. You can be a local star. You can be someone that's out here, have a book, starting a book, anything. I would greatly appreciate it if you're on the show. So my final thought for this evening for the show, in reference to following your dreams, I always want to let my listeners know that there is always something positive out here that you can look towards. Stop complaining. Don't have the pessimistic thought process, because when you become pessimistic and you're always negative, you're attracting everything that you think. So if you continue to make those strides to change your thought process to be positive, happy, and showing that everything is being guided through the Lord, you will attract those positive outcomes in your life. So the quote that I have for you tonight, the author is unknown. Don't let small minds convince you that your dreams are too big. With that being said, continue to dream big, execute bigger, and follow those dreams, because you never know, your dream is helping someone else out here to follow their dream. And I always get inbox messages that I'm an inspiration to other folks when I never knew that I was doing that. But it's always great to see that when you're doing something that you love to do, people are absolutely watching. They might not comment on things that you're doing, but people are absolutely watching what you do, how you do it, how you carry yourself with the confidence, and you're always an inspiration to someone else. And I always want to let the women listeners, even the men listeners, stop living in fear, self-doubt, and continue to rock whatever it is that you want to rock, and keep doing it every day to the best of your ability. I'd rather listen to someone that has had failures, because they will always tell you 50 ways of not doing something until they get it right to the point where they have perfected it and they are successful at it. So continue to make those mistakes with those successes,